Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Janet of jdiva.com, and on this channel we talk on skincare tips, relaxed hair care, and personal development. Now, if these are topics you love, please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you know when the next video goes live. Now, in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys tips on how to grow your relaxed hair long and healthy. Now, these are tips that help me grow my hair from shoulder length to waist length in 4 years, and that the tips I'm using currently to grow out my neck length hair down to armpit length. Now, if you're new here, I just relaxed my natural hair and I'm on a hair growth challenge to growing out 6 inches in 12 months. So if you would like to join me on this challenge, let me know in the comment section below, and let's get right into the tips, okay? Now, when we get relaxers, the relaxers straighten our hair by breaking the disulfide bonds in the hair shaft. Now, when this occurs, our hair is left very weak, prone to breakage, and very dry. So in order to retain length when you have relaxed hair, you have to baby your hair, you have to care for your hair in a certain kind of way. Now, the very first thing to note when you want to grow out your relaxed hair is to understand the hair growth rate. Now, our hair grows at different rates, and this is genetically determined. So you don't have to compare your hair growth with someone else's hair growth. Now, on an average, we grow 0.5 inches a month. So let's say for a year, you should aim to retain 5 to about 6 inches of hair. That's a lot of hair. So when you understand your hair growth rate, that you can't change the hair growth rates, but what you can change is how much of your hair you retain. Now, a lot of people year in year out are stuck at the same length. That's because they are not retaining length. Now, when you understand this in the first place, okay, I grow around 0.3 to 0.5. okay, so you aim to retain that amount of length at the end of every month. Now, when it accumulates, your hair would be long and healthy. The second thing to note is your hair porosity type. Now, hair porosity simply means the ability of your hair to absorb moisture and to retain this moisture. And I made a very detailed video on hair porosity, the different types, and how to know your hair porosity. I would link it up here and down in the description bar. It is very important to know your hair porosity type when you're starting out on your hair care journey, because it determines the kind of products you get and how you care for your hair. A product that works for someone with low porosity will not work for you if you have high porosity. And a lot of us with relaxed hair have high porosity because the cuticle has been damaged by the relaxer. So they are raised, and a lot of products penetrate the shaft and also leave the shaft very easily. So the hair is left very dry. So if you don't apply your products properly and seal your hair will still be dehydrated even when you are moisturizing your hair. So you have to understand your hair porosity type. The third tip to growing out your relaxed hair is to keep it moisturized. This is so important. Relaxed hair is very dry and prone to breakage, so it's very important to infuse in moisture regularly. Now, there are several ways you can moisturize your relaxed hair. Firstly, by moisturizing and sealing daily or every 2 to 3 days when you have coily styles. Like when I have a flexi set like this, I leave my hair 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4 days, depending on how the curls are holding up. So I try to moisturize very well before I put in the flexi rods. Now, but if I don't have flexi rods on, I moisturize every night. You want to keep your hair moisturized always. Now, another way to moisturize your hair is to deep condition your hair weekly. If you don't do it weekly, you can do every 2 weeks, but this is so important. Now, deep conditioning is the actual treatment you give to the hair. Now, moisturizing deep conditioners help your hair stay flexible, moisturized, while protein deep conditioners will strengthen your hair, fill in the cracks in the hair, and prevent breakage. So it's very important to alternate between a moisturizing deep conditioner and a protein deep conditioner to maintain a moisture protein balance. This is very important because if your hair tilts towards a moisture overload, you're going to have breakage. If your hair tilts over to a protein overload, you would also have breakage. So what I do is I alternate my deep conditioning treatments every week, or some weeks I just take a little of my moisturizing deep conditioner, a little of my protein deep conditioner, and mix them together with my oils and deep condition my hair. whatever works for you. Another tip to growing out your relaxed hair is to put your hair in low manipulation or protective styles. Now, examples of low manipulation styles are these flexi rod sets. You can do a roller set, you can put your hair in a bun, you can make twist outs, braid outs. These styles allow you to rock the curls for a few days before you go in to refresh them. Now, there are other protective styles like braids, weaves, wigs, and faux locks. Now, these styles prevent your hair from rubbing against your dresses, against harsh weather conditions. But if you don't care for your hair properly in these other kind of protective styles, your hair can get damaged because these extensions on their own can dry out your hair. So you need to care for your hair properly, even when they're in protective styles. Very important. Now, another very important tip to help grow out your relaxed hair is to protect your hair at night. This is very important. I know I've been saying all the points are important, but trust me, they are all important. If you do one without the other, you would have a lot of breakage. So with relaxed hair, you want to protect your hair at night with a silk or satin scarf or a satin bonnet, or sleep on a satin pillowcase, because the satin doesn't absorb as much as cotton wool, so it doesn't leave your hair feeling very dry and lead to breakage. Now, this also minimizes breakage by reducing the amount of friction between your hair and the pillowcase, so it's very, very important. The sixth tip to growing out your relaxed hair is to stretch your relaxers. Now, stretching means different things to different people. For one person, it may simply mean just going beyond the 6 weeks that's recommended on the box relaxers. And for another person, it may mean going 6 months to 1 year without a relaxer, whatever works for you. But stretching your relaxers allows your hair to rest in between relaxer treatments and gives you ample time to grow a substantial amount of new growth. So when you apply your relaxers, it stays only on the new growth. This is very important. Now, since we grow about half an inch a month, now you need at least 1 to 1.5 inches of hair before you get a relaxer. This puts it around, say, 3 to 4 months before getting a new relaxer. I know it may seem a lot for a lot of people. Now, if you're not used to stretching out your relaxers, you may start by adding 1 week to the number of weeks you usually got a relaxer. So if you used to get your relaxers every 6 weeks, you can go 7 weeks this time around, and then keep pushing it gradually. Now, when it gets to the point where you can no longer handle your hair, that's the point to relax your hair. You don't want to overdo the stretching, because when you stretch your hair wrongly, you would incur a lot of breakage at the demarcation line where your new growth meets your relaxed hair. We don't want that. Now, another tip to growing out your relaxed hair is to avoid overprocessing your hair. In my opinion, this is like the biggest no-no in the relaxed hair care community. Like, I see a lot of hairstylists, especially when I was growing up, they would apply relaxers from the root of the hair all the way down to the tip of the hair. They want your hair to get very relaxed. I just don't know the rationale behind that, really. You know, the relaxing process is a permanent process. It has already broken down the disulfide bonds. You don't need to repeat it. Going over it again will only leave your hair very dry and brittle, which is not what we want. Now, another thing people do with relaxed hair is they get a relaxer and then they dye their hair, they color treat their hair. It is too much. One chemical process is enough. When you overprocess the hair gets overly damaged, and the next thing is just breakage. We don't want that. Now, the 8th tip to growing out your relaxed hair is to minimize the use of heat. The use of heating tools, the use of direct heat. Whenever you can, you want to opt out of using heat. Now, you want to air dry your hair as much as you can. Now, heat damages our hair by denaturing the keratin that forms our hair shafts. Now, when this occurs, the integrity of the hair shaft is compromised. The ability of the hair to retain moisture, to strengthen the hair, is compromised. So your hair is brittle, is dry, it is prone to breakage. Now, if you must use heat, try and minimize it to at least once to twice a month. Now, if you must use heating tools, you want to use them at moderate heats. You want to have a base layer of heat protectant so it acts as an interface between the styling tool and your hair. So the 9th tip to growing out your relaxed hair is to handle your hair with care. Our relaxed hair is very fragile, like very, very fragile. So you always want to baby it. Now you want to use a wide tooth comb whenever you're combing your hair. You don't want to have any business with a small tooth comb. You can use that to part your hair, but not to, you know, comb through your hair. It's going to cause a lot of breakage. Now you also want to work in sections, at least 4 sections. So when you are dealing with a small part of your hair, you'll be more gentle on the hair. And then whenever you're detangling your hair, you want to detangle your hair from the tips of the hair and then work your way up. You don't want to go straight to the root and then keep forcing the hair to get detangled. No, you're just going to lead to breakage, and that's not what you want. Now the 10th tip to growing out your relaxed hair is scalp care. Our hair grows out from our scalp, so it's only logical to keep the scalp healthy. Now you want to cleanse your hair every week or every 2 weeks with a sulfate-free shampoo. Now this shampoo does not contain harsh ingredients, so it doesn't strip the hair, it doesn't strip the scalp. It keeps the scalp very clean, you know, and doesn't dry out, leaving the hair very squeaky clean. And then every 4 weeks or so, you want to clarify your hair with a clarifying shampoo that will lift a lot of product buildup and give you kind of a clean slate to start the next month. Now another way to care for your scalp is to do scalp massages with scalp stimulating oils. Now this is very important. I do it at least 2 to 3 times every week. Now when you massage your scalp, blood flow comes towards the scalp, and now when there is increased blood flow, there is increased nutrient there, so your hair follicles are nourished and you're going to grow healthy hair. Now if you don't do regular scalp massages, please incorporate it into your hair care regimen and you would be grateful for it. So guys, hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.